back to the charts of Big Boss Crypto, bringing on a day trading analysis on Bitcoin and on Avax, and my projection of 76k this week is looking like it's coming to fruition. With that being said, what happens next? Let's look at the charts. So as I said to you in Monday's day trading video, I told you that 76k could be up for grabs this week and that wasn't financial advice. We're currently hitting new all-time highs every day, it feels like. So currently we topped out at 73.6k. I do think we need somewhat of a retrace in possibly today and tomorrow. And then on Friday we could shift out and end the week with a big strong daily candle up to 76k. Weekend we could have a double top formation and then possibly shift out there next week. But we're going to talk about that later in the next day trading videos. So currently we're still conforming to the uptrend. We have not seen any big drops to the downside. We had this 4-hour candle spike to the downside. We had this one as well. So as you see, we're kind of bouncing off the EMAs and conforming to this structure, and we might top out in a double top formation. So when you see a clear double top formation on the daily or on the 4-hourly, you could expect another drop to the downside. Not financial advice, but then I do think this week we could hit 76k. Not financial advice. Looking at news events, yesterday was a big one. CPI numbers came in higher than expected, so the battle against inflation isn't looking that good for the Fed, but the market doesn't seem to care, which is kind of interesting. And as you know, for someone to buy, someone has to sell, and the market makers want to sell in as high price as possible. So they sell when the price is going up. So currently you see all-time highs, that means the market maker is selling. And when it drops, that means they're buying. That's just the name of the game. You can't argue that. So be very mindful of that. We could see interest rates getting lower, which could indicate a signal to buy, because then price will drop. And the Fed has said that they're going to drop interest rates 3 times this year. Currently they haven't done so far. I think next week we do have the FOMC press conference, a federal funds rate. So I don't think it's going to happen this time, but maybe next meeting in May. On Thursday, tomorrow, we have the PPI numbers coming out. We're going to see how that looks. Looking at the liquidation map on the 24-hourly, a lot of longs have been opened around, and we have liquidations around 71.3k. Coincides with, my structure of a drop and then bounce off this area, 72k, and bam, shift up to 76k. Which gives me confidence that we have also a big cluster here at 68.9k. Could go all the way down there and then bounce off there, going into Friday and the weekend, pumping to 76k. Not financial advice. Now let's take a look at AVAX. So day trading wise, AVAX has been looking really good. If you looked at Monday's video, I told you that $60 is up for grabs in the next move to the upside, and we currently went to $57, which is $3 away from $60. So I do think when Bitcoin has another push to the upside, we could tap into the zone, going into at least $60. We could go all the way up to 68, have a double top formation, and then bounce down to the downside, grabbing these open orders at least at $48 to $50. Break that, we could go down to $42 as well in the next retrace to downside, which is gonna come. We're not gonna go up in a straight line, and it's a great buy the dip opportunity for you. Not financial advice, but that's something I'm looking at. If we zoom out of it on the big time frame, if you watched our videos or my day trading videos, at the time I told you this is a huge double bottom formation and basically a buy signal when we created that on the daily time frame. I hope you watched those videos. It wasn't financial advice, but I told you theoretically this is a very bullish signal and a buying opportunity. Since then we've marked up to the upside, and I spoke to you about $60 if you watched those videos. It seemed crazy at the time when we were sub $10, but now we're currently at that point. So I do think we're gonna have a bigger retrace to the downside, going to $30 possibly, before we shift out to new all-time highs, which currently sits at $147, which is kind of interesting to see. We could go even higher in the next bull phase, which is gonna happen the next half year possibly. So from July to December, we're gonna see new all-time highs for AVAX possibly. Not financial advice, but that's something I'm looking at least. So I hope you learned something today. Have a good one. Big Boss out.